Oh, is this Randy?
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, it's Bill, and I've got a dealership here. And now you're out of the U.S., right?
Right.
And I'm actually out of Ontario, Canada. Do you deal with guys over here at all?
Bill, this will be my last year of being in the car business. I'm getting ready to retire.
Oh, well, I didn't know. I seen you on the internet there, and I didn't know whether you were thinking of that. I know I've been struggling with the business there for going on 11 years now, and I just never made an income off of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. And I bounced around with boats, and now I tried trailers, and that doesn't seem to be working too well to go along with it. So I didn't know whether you wanted to mentor me a little bit or not.
Well, I'm just actually, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't be able to do you justice because I've got several cars and I have made a decent living at it. I'm just tired of, I'm 66, so it's just time for me to hang it up and enjoy it.
Well, I'm almost getting to that. I'm 63. So.
I see. Yeah. Do you have a lot?
Yeah, I actually own the property that my lot's on there, and then I live actually in a house at the back of it, so I've got almost 2 acres here.
Right.
And
what do you think has been your problem? I mean, why haven't you been able to make a living?
It's been me. I always have a hard time buying right. I seem to always get something that needs this and that, and then by the time you do sell it, the stuff you had to put into it eats up all the profits.
I guess what my question would be, just making conversation while I'm on my way to see my family for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't really. I'm kind of going through the same thing watching my son, and he's kind of making the same thing. What you put into it, really, I mean, just as far as I'm concerned, I expect some of them to be a loser, but it's all a mental thing, really. I mean, the customer doesn't know what you got into a car. They just know, what their needs are. They're just wanting to get something that's good transportation for them. So I think the fact of whether we lose or make money is all a mindset, really.
I just was finding that I was having more losers. Like the garage was making more money than I was.
Yeah, and that's typically the case. I mean, that can happen, but a lot of times what happens is that we're so busy chasing our tail there, and making sure that the garage makes money or making sure the mechanic makes money and everybody gets paid, and we catch ourselves being shortchanged. So, but anyway, I can't really, I really wouldn't know how to help you that far. I'm kind of a hands-on guy, except for those people that are, have you tried recruiting any wholesalers on your own? Are you a sole operation or what?
I tried looking into it, but I just really didn't know how to go about it. I don't even know where to look to get other wholesalers. There is a few around town there that, like you're talking about new car dealers that's wanting to get rid of their inventory, right?
No, I'm talking about people that you could recruit to buy for your dealership. So you're doing all the buying and selling. Is that right? You're doing all the buying and selling?
Yeah, I do all the buying and selling. Actually, my nephew, he's in the business too, and I tried to get him to go in, but he ended up taking a friend of his in, so he's already got a partner in with him. So.
On a dealership, a separate dealership?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got his own, and then he went and partnered up with somebody else, and that I know that's what I need, is somebody else that's maybe got more of a knowledge into the buying vehicles. I don't seem to have a problem selling them. I always sell everything off my lot. But whether I make money on them is the other thing. Yeah.
Well, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, some of my videos explain what I did to build my dealership, because I certainly didn't have what it sounds like you have at my disposal. I mean, I had nothing when I started, and not to say
Well, I
that
was like that. I started with nothing other than I owned the property.
right,
And I seen that you deal more in like 3,000 and under vehicles. I started out that way. It seems like I was doing better that way, and then my nephew always dealt in the newer stuff. Seemed like he moved stuff, so I went in. Now I'm into like 12s and 14s and stuff like that, and like you don't get that many vehicles on your lot for the amount of money you have tied up. And
right,
I'm thinking of going back to the other way. It seems like it makes more sense to have like a one truck sitting on my yard's got like $15,000 in it. I could probably have about 4 vehicles or 5 vehicles under 3,000 for that, right?
right. I mean, people just they all tend to make that mistake. You know, my son, like I said, one reason for me leaving the business, and it's just one reason, it's not the reason, but
Hmm.
uh, I want the freedom. When you're stuck with, you know, $15,000 cars or expensive cars in inventory, I'm free as a bird. I enjoyed my freedom. It was my son that wanted me to open up a retail lot here. And so we
Hmm.
did open up the retail lot. And when we started out, when I was mentoring him, and we were doing great. And then he, like
Hmm.
your nephew, decided to get into more expensive cars. He sold a couple of them and kept buying more, kept buying more, kept buying more till uh, he realized, oh, wait a minute, I'm not where I wanted to be. I messed up. So that's where he's done, is when you try to follow somebody else's uh, lead, like your nephew. They're young and they're into all these fancy cars and stuff like that, and they're more enthusiastic about you know, getting out and doing things like that. It's not for everybody. I mean, I
Hmm.
have never, ever broken my uh, rule of thumb. And right now, one reason that I can uh, liquidate so easy is that because it'll take me about a year to clean out my inventory, but I don't have anything like a $15,000 vehicle sitting there.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't want
And
it.
that's a lot. A
Yeah.
lot of risk tied up in one vehicle.
It sure is. It's a lot of risk tied up. I teach these guys, and my point was, what I built my business on was the wholesalers that I allowed to use my license uh,
Hmm.
when I first got started, and I still have them today. They have been a lot of my salvation, to where they came in and they stocked the lot with cars, and I collected a processing fee off of them.
Now, do you have both license, wholesaler in retail?
I do,
Yeah. Okay. So you do both then, eh? Okay.
right, yeah.
Yeah. So do you think the wholesale end of it was better than the retail?
Uh, I love the wholesale end of it. What I don't like on the retail end of it, and you're not exposed to that, but I'm having to lease a lot. I lease 5 acres here, and
Hmm.
I lease that with my son, and I don't like any debt whatsoever, not a lease or
Hmm.
anything. I just you know, I care about not owning much at all. I just to the point that, and was before I came here and opened up this lot with him, because I was just in the wholesale end of it, and I loved it. So it was free. It was easy. I didn't have overhead of the lot. I didn't have any of that, and I enjoyed that. Now, you know, I'm sitting here, and the only reason I'm staying another year is I've got a lease fulfillment to get out of.
I see.
Uh,
Yeah, I've looked at that lease end of it, there, or not lease, wholesale end of it, and I just wasn't sure. I never did pursue going with the wholesale.
yeah.
Um, but it sounds like you enjoyed that better than retail.
Well, but now I was, I had a very unique circumstances. I still retail, even when I wholesaled, I retailed a lot of my cars, but I was operating in the state of Alabama, and there's
Mm-hmm.
a public auction in Alabama, so I sold all my cars through public auction.
Oh, I see.
And so it was just so much easier for me. I mean, I just sold them through public auction.
Well, I have a public auction not far from me here too. I never really thought about ever running my vehicles through there.
Well, again,
Sort
that's
of pick
why
up
you
in the
stay
auction.
within the price range of vehicles that I stayed
Yeah, yeah.
within.
Mm.
Running a $15,000 truck through public auction is probably not
Oh,
going to
yeah,
work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm thinking about, switching back to the lower end vehicles.
Yeah, I would.
Plus, I
That
can
would.
have more on my lot. Yeah.
Well, you can have more on your lot, especially right now where you're headed. You've got people that we're all surviving from day to day. There's no such thing as, in my opinion, it's just my opinion, as security. It's survival from day to
Mm-hmm.
day, and so
Mm-hmm.
people are so much living off this income. What you got a $15,000 truck, you're competing with new car dealers, you're competing with credit unions, finance companies, and all that stuff like that. You're not only
Yeah.
trying to get the customer's business, but then you've literally got to sell the vehicle twice to get rid of that car or that truck. You got to sell the truck, and then you got to sell somebody on financing the truck for somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, that would be the first thing that I would tell anybody, and especially somebody near my age, stay the hell away from that expensive stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been watching your videos, and that it got me thinking there that it was a smarter thing I was doing when I was back into selling the smaller stuff. It was more in around the 3,000 to 5,000, but I
Right.
see you're 3,000 and under, so
Well, as a rule,
you have a little less risk.
yeah. I mean, I've got literally. I was just funny enough this morning about 1 a.m. I was up doing an inventory spreadsheet, and I look up and I've got roughly 22 vehicles, and I got a total invested in 22 vehicles of like $38,000. So it's
Mm,
going to be hard for me to lose it much off of 22 vehicles when that's all I've got invested in.
yeah, yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was kind of like that back. I just kind of went over into the new vehicles in the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, I've been at it now for about 11. Then it seemed I was moving something all the time when I had the lower vehicles. Now you can go for a month at a time and not see a sale.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can,
Yeah,
and there's
yeah.
always somebody, and that's the thing that in the car business I learned a long time ago. Well, in any business, you don't create the need for an automobile. That there's a person out there that needs just decent transportation to get from point A to B, and a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people out there this day and time want that transportation as cheap as they can possibly get it. Somebody's going to break down every day. A car is going to break down every day.
And they need something right away. Yeah.
And they need something right away. And frankly, not many people need a $15,000 truck.
No,
Will they
no,
need a
it's
$1,500 truck? You bet you.
yeah, different class altogether when you get
It's
into the.
totally different class. I've never sold cars. This is the first thing for me. All right, let me take that back. In the last 5 years, I've never sold cars. I have fulfilled many needs of cars to people,
Mm-hmm.
and that's always what I focus on is how to fulfill that need.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, like I said, that when I first got started, when I was 15, 16 years old, yes, I sold very expensive cars. At that time, I did sell cars. Today, I don't sell cars. Today, I put needy people into transportation.
That was more like what it was when we were selling the.
I don't sell cars. Today, I put needy people into transportation.
That was more like what it was when we were selling the $3,000-4,000
Right.
vehicles. There, it seemed like there was the right person for every vehicle then. So.
Exactly.
Now you got a different class altogether. Like the truck I got sitting on the lot right now, it's like a 12 Lariat, and like those things. Somebody's got to come up with like $17,000
Sure.
or something to buy that, right?
Yeah. You in any business again, I was very fortunate enough to be mentored. Is that you don't make your money off the high end person. You got to realize where your bread is buttered at, and your bread's going to be buttered off your middle to lower income working man that's interested in that 2012 Lariat. He's got all the time in the world to shop for that vehicle because there's no urgency in it. I sell vehicles that there are urgency in. Get me back to work.
Yeah.
Get me back to work.
Yeah, I think that's the difference in finding there.
Right.
I don't find the people finding we need one today type of thing in the higher end stuff where I did in the lower end stuff there.
Right.
And like I said, when I got watching some of your videos, it got me thinking there that I should go back to what I was doing. It seems like you got something to show me there.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, and it's really in my videos. I just do it because I do want to see people. I mean, right now, frankly, I'm going through, and it's not my own doing, but I'm going through a lot. I doubt if you're in the same situation that my son is in, but I'm going through a lot with him because
Well,
he's got
actually,
a
my
high-end
son is
car.
actually going to be. Yeah, my son's going to be taking over the property in a couple of years, so I'm assuming that he is going to probably get involved with the business. So.
Right. Well,
and
just
I'll
don't let him make the same mistakes that you feel you might have.
Well, I think he's hoping that I'm going to show him something.
Right. Well.
And it's too bad that I couldn't have met up with you back a few years ago. You got a lot of good ideas that I've seen there, and would have been interesting.
Well, my life is just been very, very simple, and that's what that's why I've been able to, by my standards, do very well. I mean, even what I've got within the next year or so, I mean, I could go the rest of my life without that. My biggest pressure right now is like I said, watching my son bail out of his mistakes, and I had to sit there and watch him, and it's odd that we should be talking because a couple of days ago he comes to me and just, hey, I'm in over my head. I got all this expensive inventory sitting here and it's not moving, and you're selling the hell out of cars. Okay, well, it's simply because I'm not selling cars. You transform into selling cars. I don't sell cars. Again, I provide needy people with transportation.
Providing people with a need.
That's right. All you got to do, and they're all over. I don't advertise I put my cars on Facebook and Craigslist. I don't even advertise they're for sale by a dealer. I just put them out there as one individual to another, and then I tell my story to people when they contact me about a car. I just tell my story. Look, if you're looking for something that's going to get you to and from work, and If you come in here looking for something that you're going to cherry pick, it's got to look like you're going to date somebody every Friday night. Don't expect to come here. I mean, if you need to get to and from work, to and from church, and do, uh, that's what you're going to find from me.
Yeah, dependable vehicle there.
Right.
That's what I used to find with the lower end stuff. They're looking for just something to be dependable. They didn't even care if it was pretty sometimes.
Right. No, sometimes they don't. So, but that would be the only thing that I would probably recommend is just go back to what you were doing. You know what you were doing, and you know if it was working or not. You just forgot.
Yeah, and like I said, the other part that I was finding that it seemed was happening more and more to me there, that I would overlook this or overlook that, and I was started putting too much stuff, and I thought maybe it was because I was buying the lower end stuff. That's why I went into the higher end stuff, and then I found it was no different with the higher end stuff. It needed stuff too. So,
oh, I've got the people that are, yeah. I got people around here that I mentor through our lot, which are our wholesalers, and I just had one guy, spend $100,000 on cars, and he was buying nice, the high-end stuff like that. He was buying really late model cars like you're talking about, the old 12s and stuff. Hell, by the time you got them and spent money on them, it really hurt. You're going to have to you might, almost you're going to spend the same amount of money on a 2010,
half dozen vehicles, you have $50,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you look up. So that's what he has come back and learned as well. He said, hell, I'm making as much off cars I pay $1,000 for, and sometimes I'm losing on the cars that I pay $8,000 for.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, sounds like the advice you gave me is kind of what I was thinking when I seen some of your videos. It kind of got me thinking about that I should go back to what I was doing, and just talking to you, it sounds like you're just confirming on what I'm thinking there. So
I'd stop thinking, buddy, and get to doing.
Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking, well, I get rid of these high-end ones there, and then start back into the low-end ones, and I guess I just have to just start watching more on my buying, I guess.
Yeah, just go out and buy them. We'll start watching you. You look at your income tax season and things like that. You need to, capitalize off of that. There's always a change in buying. You know yourself that, the seasons change. Sometimes it's four-wheel drive season. Sometimes it's convertible season. If we get too complacent and think that we're in the car business and forget our buying seasons and our strategies, that will eat our lunch when we start thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. We're going to get fooled. So.
Okay. Well, I'll do that. I'll start putting that into works here now. I appreciate you talking to me.
No problem at all. Good luck to you. If there's anything else you feel like just venting on, pick up the phone and call.
Okay, appreciate that, Randy.
All right, thanks.
Okay, good luck with your retirement if I don't talk.